Welcome to the Crypto Day morning, as today's date, Crypto Day, the 5th of July, 2018. My name is Derek, and I'd like to welcome you. All risks you make is that of your own risk, own reward for all decisions amongst the crypto space investing field. For myself, risk reward management, always job number one. Bitcoin in at 6,700, up 1.84% throughout the last 24 hours, and really not too much going on. I didn't make a trade, at least I don't think I did, throughout the last 24 hours. I'll talk about some coins I think are going to buy today, and not shown on the trading view because they're not on any of the bigger exchanges. XBY is currently up to 646 Satoshi. It was down in the 400s just a little while ago, which means nice sell opportunities are now starting to present itself as this thing is looking to possibly make a run in the next little bit. Smart cash, I ended up getting into a couple days ago at around 1200, up to 1488. I doubt I sold with a sell order close to an opening sell order close to 1700. But to quickly check without even logging in, I can click on this link and see if the intraday move has had any such an event, and I wouldn't think it would. Wait a second, it did? No. You got me so excited there, because I have all these other sell orders. I was just thinking after, I'm thinking, yeah, I got my 1700. And then I thought, I got every other sell order in too because of that move. That was very much cruel when I see that line as it is. But I got into that right around here before this move, and you can see it like a line down that. That's why I got buy orders and sell orders ready to go. But if it were to have a move where it just got one of those pierced things where someone just buys it up to an insane level, they'd have to take every one of my buy orders, because my last sell order is probably like 30 or 40,000. So I'd like to sell. Okay, let's sell about 1,700. Let's put a sell order around say 3,000. Maybe another one at about 25,000, and I'm done. But of course, I'll keep on adjusting these sell orders along the way so that when one comes in, like say if I were to sell Smart at 1,700, I would put new buy orders in, maybe put one in for a 1,200 buy order or 1,000 buy order, something like that. And then I'd put a new sell order in for about maybe 2,300, then another one in for about 4,000, 4,500, then another big insane one thereafter. Again, first Ethereum Classic, then Bitcoin, then a few retracements I think are going to come back and hit for me hopefully pretty soon. ETC against the US dollar. Look at notice the last 5-6 days as it's been hugging, showing strength amongst the 18 average high. So if I can see something where it shows strength amongst such for a little bit, well, that's a spot where you would see it. So this to me, especially with today's session, how the previous 4 or 5 was the same, always going below the 18 lows, always going above the 18 highs. In today's session, it has managed to hold and stay above a key area. Let me just draw in this like that, and then I'll just for fun shorten out this time frame. So looking at the 3, and we're basically seeing how on a more longer term time frame it is working within that key correctionary move. So in a spot of attempting to break out of the market in here, it obviously was unable to do such, not finding support at the 18 highs. Even the 18 closes not shown, didn't really do too much. Small support on the lows, failed breakdown again, which has obviously sparked this decent trend. So since leaving this area here, this is what the story shows. 2 times it came down, but this one is how it's holding above the 18 average of highs, because since the last retracement, which was another small lower high at least, it's showing a lot of good momentum. And it did I'd be looking for a break to get above this, which really happened in this previous period. You see a red candle on it. Well, at one point, it was a nice screaming green candle up that was leaving the 18. So I think there's a good reason or good chance that we'll have another good leg higher today. And as far as Bitcoin is concerned, within its daily chart and its 18 average, it's now starting to show strength amongst the 18 average of highs for its like third day after its move higher. That's pretty interesting in this spot. We look at this on, say, a single hour time frame. It's choppily right now, moving within the 18 lows and highs. It's correctionary move. And it's had these situations. Big move up, go sideways. Big move up, go sideways. It's had a decent move up and it's relatively went sideways. But for the last little while, it's in this trading range. And overall, it's not going up too much, although it kind of is. But it's definitely not correcting lower in a spot where in this bear market type of territory that we've been in for this calendar year, these are one of the ideal spots. This thing should be saying, hey, why aren't you rolling over? This is what the bear market should be doing at this time, and it's not. So that gives you at least reason for optimism. And I know there's a lot of people here that don't want that 3,000 level. Some do. But there's a level of optimism for those folks who just want to see this bull market go and show patterns of higher highs, higher lows. Let's talk about some markets I think are going to fill some of my buy orders in because I sold recently. And this is first CIS against BNB. I've only had 2 buybacks within this rally, and one was a sell back again, meaning I bought this on 35 on the way down, and I sold it like 70 about 5 minutes later. That's how sick this move was. And then I bought again at 28 down here, which is, well, more than 50% off since that point. But I bought it when it was like 60-70% off. So my next buyback, I currently got in at 12 and change. But mathematics, if you can sell a whole bunch along the way up, and you can make a lot of great profits when the markets do as it is do such as it has been behaving. Here we have DNT. I was able to get a sell order here. Now I don't know if I'll get this buy order in because in this situation here, it's going to have to come back down to this 18 average of lows. This is going to be interesting. Will this move that it's had be legitimate in that it's going to start that of a bull market? Because if it doesn't, this is definitely a failed breakout, failed attempt rather. And if it does so, like most failed moves, you can expect a fast move in the opposite direction. Of course, here would be lower. But it's right now stating that we're in reversal of trend possibility, 18 average barely starting to rise. So it's entering an area of key support. We see this on the single hour time frame. This area in here where it's at now, this is the general area you're going to need it to correct. It's still okay, I think, to come down to like 560-ish area, which would meet up with the 18 highs. But it definitely has to hold, to me, a significant higher low along the way. But if you look at it just as it plays, it does look as if there's more further downside room action happening, because you already had a correctionary move that hit this line already from the high. And since that point, there's been some okay rallies, but they've all been sold off back. And when we look at how the 18 average moves, we can see it was rising and declining at the same time. This is something I can never even remember seeing the situation, actually, now that I think about it. But within this pattern, we see now how it's just breaking down here below this 18. So maybe it's looking to fill some of this empty space down here. Again, that would be around maybe a previous low test of 570. I don't think would be the worst of situations. Markets like VIA had this big sell yesterday. I got my sell number in at the 99 number, but not on this crossing or exchange. I traded on that of the Binance exchange. However, amongst Bitcoin, you have this move back down to the correctionary phase. I have an uptrend, sort of like in here. So now this is an important situation because it's already announced or yelled out, screamed in that, hey, we went neutral. Yeah, of course. We've had many days, 18's flat. Yes, you're neutral within the move. That's a stage from not going down, because in a bear situation, you have a new low which you had, you come to the correctionary move, and then shortly thereafter you should sell off. But this isn't shortly. Maybe it still might, because it could have decent correctionary moves within such. But since it had this statement, I'd be expecting now shortly soon it's going to start seeing this thing go higher as we revert the trend. If that statement doesn't get fulfilled, I'm not expecting this to get neutral by any means. I'm expecting it to get a decent leg lower, because oftentimes from a failed move, this would be a failed breakout, should come a fast move in the opposite direction. I traded this against BNB. And after seeing some of these lines like I see, that's why I do it. So the high on this market was 99.77. My exact number was in that 99.60. Differential right now is like 16 points. So it's already down over 15% since I bought it, and it's barely went down. And in this situation, if I think it's going to be bullish, then I could buy some back now. But I'm going to wait. And I got a situation where if this comes down to the 18 average of lows, that might be a spot where I'd be looking to buy back the trade that I made previous. But when you see these moves, these lines, it's good to have your buy and sell orders ready to take advantage of them. You had one day where you had both buys and sells fill in the same day if you had the orders on Binance. And for me, the more base currency I have, I'd like to have two sell orders or buy orders rather, if I can, so that maybe I could have a buy order here at 14, although I wouldn't have one down here at 10. I might have one like way lower, but something like this, and then maybe I'd have a sell order here at 23, and then I'd even have about 3 sell orders. One for the near term, one for a good gain from that point, say somewhere like here, and then one a big level above that. So those wouldn't sell. But on a day like, say, here, what would I end up? I would see, buy order at like, say, 14 or maybe 13. And then I'd see sell order fill, 22,766 maybe, and then 34,726. And I see the price back here. I'm like, sweet, this is a big situation here, a big deal. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I already got the buyback from this. Maybe I do a small additional buy order and then just replace orders again, knowing that you made a very good deal. But you can do it on so many times. In here, you're going to have a spot where it's like maybe you have a sell order here, and the market comes all the way back down to its low end. You go from like maybe 19 to 13. Oh, I just sold X amount, and now I'm buying back 1.4x or 1.3x. And you did it again, we'll say. And there was a spot there where it was available. So that's why I like to play these types of exchanges. Or rather the crosses with the code or with the base markets of that, like Binance coin. And let's conclude this with Feather coin. You want to talk about sick volatility. But I like it. This is why when you talk about profiting on volatility, when markets just do this, that's buy. And if I sell, let's face it here. Selling here is rare because it would require multiple things to happen. One, I would need to buy at that most recent bottom. And that's not too rare. But then my sell order would have to work because it's very possible that I'm going to miss these moves because, well, my sell order is marginally higher, at least the nearest one. That's all I can sell is just one time, if I'm even lucky when the markets just go straight down like this. But movements like this are phenomenal because the question is, how many times are you selling here? How many intraday moves are you able to get during these wild situations? So you sell, you get your buybacks, and it looks like we may be starting to sell, although I had a sell order fill last night. This market is going through that of the correctionary phase, and Early bloomer? Oh man, this one was early for the last one. Big time. So on June mid, June 18, it bottoms, makes this move on right after the solstice, which is June 21st. And then it comes back very violently back down to, I mean, the lowest place it could go to make a higher low. And now making a move up to this 18 average of highs. So therefore, you've had a pattern of this low, this high, this low. Is it able on a bullish level to get back and start playing some of these high levels, get north of the 2000 number? It looks like there's a better chance than there normally would be. But this is why, like I say, market's down, all I can do is buy. At least here, if it's going to chop up and down, I'm going to have tremendous buy and sell orders that will come in, which is why I'd rather in a downtrend for a market to do something like this. I mean, it could go something like that would be more ideal. I'm kidding when I say that because that's unrealistic and that is super profitable. But in downtrends, like, let me just see if I can find any good ones. Like saying here, you look at all of these nice choppy moves. That's the type of downtrends I would prefer as a trader. But even in these moves in here, look at all of these choppy action available during the bull market runs that were able to get you, in a bull market, you're going to get mainly sell orders in this strategy, but you can get a lot of buy and sell situations where you buy at 22, you sell at 26, you're doing a whole bunch of those things that can make tremendous intra-move profits for the move. Intra-move for this move, of course. Thank you for tuning into this morning's video and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.